Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And the Enforcer.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steven Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found, and of course, taped live at the Twitch at twitch.tv/Steven Larson, where this Sunday, that's right, on the Twitch, we'll be doing our Survivor Series watch-along. Oh boy, this has all the makings for the best Survivor Series. I don't know. I'm trying to find something here, but
best one this year.
You know what?
Yeah, sure.
It's wrestling, and the three of us are going to be watching it together. So if you want to watch something with a couple of dudes and just having a good time, either talking shit or enjoying what might surprisingly, shockingly be a decent pay-per-view, who knows? Anything could happen. Then hang out with us this coming Sunday for Survivor Series. Now that we have all the info, we've got both go-home shows, Raw and SmackDown. We sort of have the full picture of what we're heading into. One match was added to tonight on tonight's SmackDown, a big battle royal in honor of The Rock. They're not going to have The Rock there, so it'd be nice if they could get like a cameo video from him.
Yeah,
I don't know how much it charges.
Question.
Yeah, like a match at question, saying, hey, good luck, participants of the Rock Battle Royal. Whoever wins this will be the most electrifying man
in WWE currently
for a night or something like that.
For this night, for one night only, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're also going to be betting channel points. That's probably good. That's always fun. That's always fun.
Yeah,
that's always
so
fun indeed. We
figure, given that we have all the go homes wrapped up, that we would give our Survivor Series predictions. Now, our actual predictions are going to be going down during the show.
Yes.
As the show goes on, because of course we've got Larson's WWE predictions title on the line, and so it's a lot more fun just to do them as we go along. But still, we're going to do a quick match by match breakdown, give our thoughts as to who we think is going to win these particular matches and where we're coming from, because we're YouTubers and that's what we do, and podcasters. That's what we're supposed to do.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
We talk. That's what we do.
Exactly. Let's kick things off with the aforementioned Rock Battle Royal, commemorative Battle Royal, celebrating 25 years of Dwayne. They announced the field via Twitter. You got Ricochet, Dijak, Mansoor, Cesaro, Street Profits, Viking Raiders, R-Truth, Drew Gulak, AJ and Amos, Sami Zayn, Los Lotharios, Apollo Crews, Aziz, Alpha Academy, Jinder and Shanky, Dirty Dogs, and then Cedric and Shelton. A lot of tag teams in this particular bout.
A lot of tag teams, which you can kind of nail. Let's say, I don't know that this would be a sound strategy. I think for the most part, none of the tag teams are going to be winning this thing, or none of the participants from tag teams. So, it's not going to be like one of the Viking Raiders.
Yeah.
It's probably not going to be. Now, there is an exception to that. I would say there's the possibility that AJ Styles, they would give it to him and he could run with it. And, he could use a Moss to get him there. I think that's a possibility. You could give it to, in this case, I think a heel would probably run with it more than a face. I was thinking at one point, well, Cesaro, he's been around for a while. He doesn't have a belt. He sort of needs an accolade. But on the other hand, he kind of doesn't. Who cares? They're not going to do anything with it, which they're not going to do anything with this.
No.
But a heel like Apollo Crews, for example, could get some mileage out of this, potentially. Or you could give it to a face like R-Truth, but then Truth only does the 24/7 stuff. On the other hand, there's a young face like Mansoor. I could see him maybe picking this up. I don't know. Where do you guys fall on this?
I got Ricochet.
Okay.
He is one of, if not maybe the most electrifying in-ring performer in this particular bout.
Yeah.
He's not in a tag team. For me, it would be either Ricochet, Montez, or Amos. Those are the three people I'm thinking have the best chance.
Okay. All right.
But I'm going with Ricochet pretty much just because he's not in a tag team. So I'll go Ricochet. I only have one confidence point on it. Obviously, this will probably be in the kickoff show. I can tell you one person who's not winning it, and that's Sami Zayn.
Yeah, because he talked about it tonight on SmackDown. Of course, he's just going to be complaining that he got cheated out of it. Enforcer, where are you going with this Battle Royal?
Well, much like how you said that it was introduced when Sami Zayn was complaining about what was going on. So I feel he's going to be one of the last two participants in it, which leads me to believe that it will be someone positioned as a face. So what does that leave you? Kind of leaves you either, I'm thinking R-Truth, but like you say, if they want to go with a joke with it, whatever they give it to win this, maybe he hauls that around for a while. Or Larson's got to sound a thought there, and I was thinking Ricochet as well. I'd probably, honestly, I don't have any confidence in this thing. When we do this, it's probably going to have the least amount, but I'd probably go with R-Truth.
All right. I'm probably right now leaning towards AJ Styles with the assist of Amos. Not even ruling Amos out of it, but I'm going to go. I could see AJ calling himself the most electrifying man in sports entertainment right now. So I could see AJ giving himself that title. So that's where I'm leaning right now. But this is the one that I'm almost certainly going to change between now and the pay-per-view because, like, I don't know. But yeah, only one confidence point on this for sure. Next up, we've got RK Bro versus the Usos, Raw Tag Team Champions versus the SmackDown Champions. I would probably go with RK Bro in this case because Roman loves to dump on the Usos. He loves to have a reason to say you dropped the ball. Roman's totally winning his match. And he loves to dump on his cousins. Plus, RK Bro are like one of the most over things right now. So I'd give it to Randy. I think he's going to be dropping some people with RKOs. Although on Raw, I guess he did drop an RKO on one of the Usos. Nothing saying he can't do that again. Where do you guys land on this one?
I'm thinking here that I believe that it's going to be a night for the Bloodline. I think it's going to be, since they're all there, they've all got their feuds intertwined with what's going on with Xavier. They're fighting Big E. I think it's going to set a statement all through the night. And it's going to be a through line where the Usos are going to be so proud of getting this win over RK Bro. Run back to Roman, see, look, Chief, look at how great we did, right? Look at how great. And he's just going to no sell him, and it's going to be a through line all throughout. Yeah. So that's why I take the Usos here. I don't know how much confidence I'd put on it. I'd have to think about it. Yeah. But that is one that could go. Honestly, all of these matches here, other than, like you said, Big E and Roman, could really go either way depending on how they want to move on with this. But I think it'd be more interesting if the Usos had that hanging over their hat, saying, like, they took out the Raw champs.
Mm-hmm. For me, it kind of depends when the match happens on the show, because Riddle's got this thing where he wants to help everybody out. Yeah. So it's entirely possible, whether it be in the Battle Royal and in the Survivor Series men's match, he feels the need to help somebody, and that ends up costing him and Orton their own match. But if this match is early on the card, I can see RK Bro winning, because I can see a situation where the Usos lose, they're in Roman's doghouse, and so they help him in the main event win to get themselves out of the doghouse.
RK Bro also tends to be on the short end of things unless it comes to their actual tag titles, which fuels Randy Orton saying, hey, get your head out of your ass. We need to care about these tag titles. Given that the tag titles aren't on the line, I think the Enforcer might have a point with the Usos there. So I don't know. That might be one that I change as well.
Yeah, right.
Next, we have the Women's Survivor Series match. Team Raw versus Team SmackDown. Enforcer, what way are you leaning?
Once again, it's like you see that the SmackDown team is all infighting. I didn't watch a Raw, but I would assume they're all infighting as well. Who knows really what is going on here? Who needs the win more? Honestly, I would say probably, since Naomi isn't on the team, I still think that there's a through line here where she somehow helps the face, in particular Aaliyah, possibly secure the win and annoy Sonya Deville, but also make her happy because she helped the SmackDown team win. I'd probably lean with that's about the only story going through the women's Survivor Series match that sort of has any teeth to it. So I'd probably go with that. I'd probably take the SmackDown women to win that match.
Team SmackDown is kind of a disaster. They literally just tweeted out who the final member was going to be, and tonight they didn't even include Tony Storm in the graphic. Michael Cole had to explain to us that grayed out individual is Tony Storm.
Yeah.
Sasha and Shotzi are clearly in a blood feud. I know Rhea and Carmella and Queen Zelina, they all have their problems. Liv Morgan's feuding with like Becky, who's not even on this squad or anything. Bianca's a star. I feel like Team Raw is a bit more cohesive. They are way more cohesive now that I think about it than Team SmackDown. I'm going to give it to Team Raw. They sort of book all these people on Team Raw a bit more strong than like Shayna, certainly Natalya and Toni Storm. Yeah, I'm going to go with Team Raw for this one.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I feel like they're still doing everything they can to make Bianca Belair a huge star. Part of that's going to be leading Team Raw to victory here at Survivor Series. Everything you said, Steve, about Raw being a bit more cohesive rings true with me. Sitting here now, I'm going Team Raw.
Next up, we've got the men's traditional Survivor Series match. Team SmackDown. Comprised of Drew McIntyre, Jeff Hardy, King Woods. Tonight it was Sheamus. And then Baron Corbin versus an absolute clusterfuck here. We've got Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Austin Theory, and Bobby Lashley. This is one of the most combustible teams in recent memory, and they're nowhere near to being on the same page. I think also you're balancing out Team Raw for the women and then Team SmackDown for the men. I mean, all these guys are fairly affable. Even Drew, it's going to be fun to see Drew and Sheamus on the same team because they've got history. Jeff Hardy and Sheamus obviously have some history, but Jeff is all about this team. He was like, man, even Sheamus is a tough guy. The only oddball is Baron Corbin. So Baron might get eliminated first, and I still think a 4-on-5 situation would benefit Team SmackDown here.
I think so too.
Yeah. So probably high confidence points on that.
Once Adam Pearce mentioned that Team SmackDown got swept last year, I knew Team Raw was losing this year. Team SmackDown all the way.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. I'm actually because I'm trying to balance it out. I'm going to take the men simply because that's a much more stacked team, and much like I think like last year, didn't like one team run through it, like once they got rid of like AJ or something, the other fools like held together and like ran through the other fools.
Team Raw swept Team SmackDown last year.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking maybe like, someone gets eliminated early and then they all screw their heads on and then blast through these other fools. I think we may get a repeat of that, but mainly because right now, preliminarily, I'm thinking the women SmackDown, so I got to take the men Raw. So that's kind of what I'm thinking here. But like I said, it could switch. Honestly, thinking about it, it could switch here, depending on placement, depending on how the rest of the show has gone so far. I may have to switch.
Exactly.
These are the thing that I like about doing it this way, these are our honest, well thought out opinions.
Yeah.
Come time of the show, all that stuff goes out, and it's just survival.
Pretty much.
I don't want to pick this guy, but I have to if I want any chance of winning, and then you might turn out.
We're the real Survivor Series going on here, so make sure to join us over at the Twitch to see how this plays out.
Exactly.
Next up,
U.S. title match.
Mid-card. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. Damian Priest, U.S. champ versus Shinsuke Nakamura, the Intercontinental champion. Forcer, who do you got?
Okay. Last week, oh, hi, buddy. Last week, there was such a problem, and I went on a rant about how they're doing nothing with Shinsuke. He is a complete afterthought. He's in tag matches and he's eating pins. I feel bad for Shinsuke, and I think he's going to eat another pin here And I think it's going to be Damian Priest winning this. Honestly, other than Roman, this is probably my next surest thing in my mind that Damian Priest is going to win this match just because Shinsuke is booked so horribly right now, man.
1,000% with you, Enforcer. 1,000% with you. Damian Priest totally winning this.
Shinsuke has been eating losses like I eat Hostess donuts, man. Damian Priest is totally winning this thing. Yeah. Next. Don't even have to talk about it.
Next. This one's an interesting one. Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair. Now, for me, the most obvious outcome is a no contest type situation because they want to protect both.
Nobody wins.
Now, that being said, if someone does get pinned, it's probably going to DQ
Yep.
Yeah.
Because Becky Lynch is not going to lose right now.
That being said, the most likely outcome is some sort of DQ finish or something like that.
Yeah.
I will probably end up picking Becky with a low amount of confidence points.
Yeah.
But odds are this is going to be some sort of wonky finish.
I feel like the most likely outcome is Charlotte. Let's see here. I think either way, I think it's going to be Becky winning, but that might be Charlotte. Number one, I don't even think they've determined a real finish for this match.
Yeah.
But this is a fascinating matchup. It'll be interesting how shooty this gets. Yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, this is probably going to be my 2 confidence point match with Becky Lynch because I don't see them giving her a loss. Charlotte is the bad guy here. So I guess she gets a loss.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm much thinking with this is like no. Well, I can't say no way because I've seen much far-fetched things happen, but no way is Becky Lynch eating a pin legit. If history serves correctly, Charlotte can eat a pin, roll up whatever, and she will be fine. But I really think it's just going to spill to the outside. They're going to fight. Referee's going to be 1, 2, 3, 10, double count out. And that may be a pick depending if I need it. If I need to shoot the moon, I may put that as my finish for this as a double count out for sure.
You know, there is the possibility that part of the negotiations of how this match goes is baked in some amount of punishment for Charlotte going off script, which Vince isn't opposed to, but within some sort of reasonable amount. I would not be shocked to see an Austin Aries situation in his last Impact match where she gets hit with the manhandle slam, 3 count, and she gets right back up.
Right back up, flip someone off, and
that would not kind of shock me if something like that happened.
No,
that would not be shocking.
But yeah, in any event, like the entire thing points to a Becky Lynch victory. I mean, she was on the Ariel Helwani show, et cetera, et cetera. I would say Becky Lynch is going to pick up the win. But yeah, I'll probably go super low confidence points on this.
Then main event, Big E versus Roman Reigns. As much as I want Big E to win this bout, really want it to happen, it's not, and it bums me out. You got the possibility of Seth Rollins and or Kevin Owens getting involved to cost Big E the match. Not even to mention the Usos; they can get involved. Of course, you could have Woods and maybe a returning Kofi Kingston get involved as well to help even the odds in that respect, but that doesn't account for Seth and Kevin Owens. I just think there's too many moving pieces that are working against Big E for me to pick him. It's going to be Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
I don't see any way that it's not Roman Reigns. I'm actually really surprised that he has a loss reflected on his record against Xavier Woods.
No, it's a no contest. They declared no contest.
Oh, was that was ruled a no contest last week? Okay, all right. Okay, well that even goes even further to it. Roman Reigns is totally winning this match. He got ran off this week by Big E, by the New Day. So yeah, it's by one way or another, it's going to be Roman Reigns winning this thing.
Yeah, I am much in line with you guys. If Big E, as much as I love Big E, if Big E were to win this, I would be completely shocked. I would not be sad that he beat him, but I would be completely shocked. And yeah, there's too many people that can attack Big E. He doesn't have enough backup. Even if he does have Xavier comes out there and Kofi. I think there's just too many heads, too many interference. I wouldn't even doubt it if Roman just pins him clean. I'd like to get him see a not a dusty finish, but wonky. Big E look protected, wonky. Yeah,
I think
protected. Yeah,
I think he probably will be protected a bit, but I think that it actually kind of bolsters the Becky Lynch win because you got USA and Fox both wanting stuff. So if you have, I mean, look, the Battle Royal is whatever, right? And then you break these matches down. You got Roman Reigns winning. You've got Damian on SmackDown. Yeah. You've got the SmackDown men's team winning. You've got in terms of the mid card titles, you got Damian Priest on Raw winning, which could give some credence to the Usos winning as well if they want to even these out between the networks. And then the Battle Royal is kind of like a whatever. Or is there anybody in the Battle Royal that's like cross brand? I guess the 24/7 title is
kind of.
I mean,
R-Truth, baby.
R-Truth. Yeah, there you go. Anyways, so yeah, there's our picks. Let us know what you guys think about those picks in the comments below, and we'll see you on Sunday. Enforcer, we will see you on Sunday. Thanks so much for hanging out with us for this section of the show.
Absolutely, you got it, man.
All right, let's take a break here to get a word in from our sponsor, Decked. So Larson,
yes.
I'm sure you've heard this kind of story before. You got like a truck owning friendo who goes to check out like a football game or something at their buddy's house and completely forgets about all the stuff they left in the bed of their truck. And then when they go back to their truck, they discover that while they're at their friend's house, the heavens opened up and dropped rain or snow or whatever and completely ruined like everything they had on their truck bed.
Yeah, I've heard stories like that before. And next time I hear a story like that, I'm going to tell that friendo about Decked. The Decked drawer system is weatherproof, which means it will keep your stuff safe from rain, ice, and snow. Also, the Decked drawer system makes organizing and accessing everything in your truck bed so much easier.
Yeah, and each of Deck's 2 full bed-length drawers can carry up to 200 pounds of whatever you want to put in them, and the drawers roll out about waist high, giving you easy access to your tools and gear. Plus, Decked is 100% made in the USA and backed by a lifetime no-hassle warranty and offers second-to-none customer service.
Getting Decked is the best thing friendos out there could do for their truck, especially this time of year. So protect your stuff. Get your Decked drawer system at decked.com/raw and get free shipping. That's decked.com/raw for free shipping on your Decked drawer system. Decked.com/raw.
All right. Ooh, thank you, Enforcer. That was very nice of him to hang out with us.
It was. Thank you, Enforcer. Let's move on to our SmackDown, and then after that, Rampage recaps. I got a feeling the Rampage aspect of the show is going to be pretty quick. Maybe SmackDown as well, because there's not a lot to write home about in this particular go-home episode of SmackDown. I actually somewhat enjoyed the setup for the beginning with Woods and Roman, with the bloodline trashing all the King of the Ring stuff. I thought that was pretty solid. And I like Big E showing up to attack Roman. It's just everything in between. I didn't really feel like advanced a whole lot tonight.
We finally got to see Sheamus and his interaction with Ridge Holland. I don't disagree. I thought the SmackDown was pretty flat tonight. You're right. I thought that it'd start off with the strongest segment was the start. I really, Woods with the legit tears and Roman stomping that king, the crown.
It was apparently made of paper mache or something.
Cardboard.
He was ripping that apart with his hands.
It was pretty rough. But that being said, I thought that was really powerful stuff. I do. I mean, it's King Woods's quest to be King of the Ring, something that he has talked about endlessly, and then for them to trash that stuff, I really hope that he sort of gets more props made so that he can continue to do that. But I thought that sacrificing that stuff for the story, I thought made for really powerful stuff. I was like, oh man, like usually I'm pretty on board with Roman, but this time I was like, I really want to see him get his ass kicked, and that's kind of what you want
Exactly.
from your heel is to not see the guy, not have a guy who you don't want to see, but have a guy who you do want to see get his ass kicked.
Totally.
I thought they did pretty good with that. We finally got, we're only 2 days away from the event. We got our final participant. Well, yesterday we got our final participant in the SmackDown Women's team. That was just Tony Storm. They just announced that on Twitter.
Yeah.
Thankfully for the men on SmackDown, they gave them a match, a fight-in, if you will.
Yeah, a fatal 4-way match.
And that's where we got Sheamus with the assist of his number one Stan Ridge Holland. So there was that. That was a pretty fun match as well.
Yeah, that was solid.
And I love that Woods is in a thing with Roman. I think that's great. And then it sort of furthers the Big E matchup. And of course, like you said, we saw him. I liked the. I think Shotzi is doing everything she can. It's just an absolute shame that they put her in a position. It's like sometimes they just don't want to use people. They don't want to utilize their wrestlers' strengths. And she is such a naturally charismatic, gifted babyface who doesn't even have to try to be a huge babyface.
Nope.
And I just noticed during that match was pretty fun and they were giving it everything they had. Crowd was dead for it.
I know.
And I largely think it's because they don't really want to boo Shotzi. Like, I mean, I think by and large that crowd the casual crowd doesn't really know her well enough. And that might play into it. But when she so clearly should be a babyface and knows that role really well, I think it's easier to get the crowd just naturally on your side.
Yeah. I mean, she did that in her match against Charlotte.
Yeah, you're right.
She made it.
Crowd was into it.
Yeah, it was a really tightly contested match, and the crowd was behind her.
Yeah.
And then that out of nowhere kind of heel turn. I know they motivated it, and it partially made sense, except when she got to the point where she said, and essentially the fans gave up on me. I'm like, I watched this match last week. Unless they were piping in cheers for Shotzi, which didn't seem to be the case. Yeah. The crowd didn't turn on her. The crowd just naturally backed her up.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah. You remember at the time there, I was like, why are they turning her heel? Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, sometimes you got to stick. Honestly, it's the same thing. This is the top of my head. There's probably a bunch of examples of this. Is Otis. It's like the guy was set. Look, neither of us ever thought that he had the proper ceiling for a Money in the Bank guy, but he doesn't have a ceiling now. I just don't. I don't see it. I don't ever see it because he's so ingrained with me as that guy because he was really good at that.
He was, and his character now is so one dimensional.
It's cardboard box guy. I don't know what that is. He's just like silent killer guy or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's no dimension to it. It's not interesting. And with Shotzi, she is doing everything she can. She looks like she is embracing it to her fullest extent. It's just she's so naturally that thing that it's kind of a shame. But I thought they had a fun match. It's just the crowd did not care about it because I just don't think they're really into her being a bad guy. But yeah, honestly, kind of like as thin as Rampage might have been, SmackDown wasn't far behind. Like it just sort of was a thin episode. I mean, sometimes it feels like half the episode is dedicated to Roman's entrances.
Yeah, I know.
So it kicked off with the Usos. They're in the ring. They've got the throne, the cape, the scepter, all in there. They say the tribal chief will be there soon, and they have a surprise for him. But before that, Big E, the Bloodline, showed up on Raw and sent a message loud and clear. They're going to do the same to RK Bro. They said, we hear voices too. Those voices say, we the ones. But tonight, we're going to see who runs the WWE. One true king has a table, tribal chief, tribal king, Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman come down.
Yeah, they come down. Heyman says he's overwhelmed with emotion. Says this has been the works all week. There is no one in the history of WWE that deserves to be crowned the king as much as the head of the table, the tribal king. And he knows in his heart that everyone in the arena tonight will agree with him when he says the distinction of king doesn't belong to Xavier Woods and as sure as hell will never belong to Brock Lesnar. And it'll never belong to Big E, who will be smashed this Sunday at Survivor Series. And Roman cuts him off. Asks for the mic. And Roman just says, whose idea is this?
Whose idea is this?
And Heyman's pointing to the Usos. The Usos are pointing at each other.
Yeah.
And Roman says,
I do like that stuff.
I know, it's good. Roman says, this must be a joke. Do you honestly think I care about this stuff? He says, I don't need this to be acknowledged. He's put in the work. He's earned the respect. Hartford acknowledge me.
Oh, they acknowledge him too.
Oh, yeah.
For that, they pop big. Yeah,
They did. And he says the only reason I took the crown last week is because I could. And then he's interrupted by Xavier Woods.
Yeah, so Woods comes down and he says, let's see here. Don't do it. I got it right here. He says, Roman, all those things that you have in the ring, those material things, they are my property, but those things do not make a king. What makes a king is knowing you are here to do good for the WWE Universe. And if you were asking, then based on what you did last week, you got to come out here this week and look me in the. What you should have done is come out here this week and look me in the eye and settle this. But that's not your MO. So I'll challenge you. Without your goons, you look me face to face so we can handle this, and I can show you exactly what a real king is made of. Roman says, so you're telling me you don't care about this stuff? It don't mean nothing. Jay. So Jay wipes his nose with the cape. He sneezes in it. He puts it on the ground. Roman steps on it, and Wood says, clothes don't make the man. Mm-hmm. And then he says, oh, really? That doesn't bug you. Jay gets the scepter. And Woods is starting to cringe a little bit. And Jay breaks the scepter over his knee. And then and Roman's like, still, doesn't bother you. You sure? And Woods starts to really get visibly upset.
Yeah.
And so they take the throne. They smash that. And Roman starts laughing. It's like, you don't look happy now? You sure you don't like this stuff? And then they're about to smash the crown. Go back to Wood. Woods has a tear running down his face. And they're about to smash the crown. And Roman takes it and says, are you sure? And at that point, when he's about to smash the crown, Woods rushes the ring. The Usos get him, stomp him down, grab him, make him like face to face with the crown on the ground.
Yeah.
And Roman says, I'm the only king around here, and I don't need props. And then he smashes it under his foot, and then they just sort of throw him into the debris of the crown, which apparently, as you said, I think in the pre-stream, or maybe it was the intro to this episode, made of paper mache.
Because Roman took it, the two halves that he stomped on it. It was two halves, and then with his bare hand ripped it in half.
Yeah.
He was tearing the thing up. So we go to commercial, we come back. Xavier Woods, nursing his injuries, has an interview, and he's asked, where does he go from here? And he goes, where do I go from here? I go to the ring at the end of the night and step up against Roman. He'll accept my challenge. The Roman Empire wasn't built in a day, but it will fall tonight.
Yeah, that was really good stuff. I like the spotlight for Woods here.
Yeah, I do too.
After that, we've got fatal four-way action for a spot, the vacant spot. Who will replace vacant on the SmackDown team? It was Ricochet, Sheamus, Jinder Mahal, and Cesaro. These guys put on really good stuff. Mm-hmm. Ricochet, of course, doing all sorts of really cool, crazy shit.
Oh, man, that step-up tope he did was insane.
Pretty awesome. Sheamus ends up getting the win via help from Ridge Holland, who came down with his little baton thing and whacked Cesaro in the head, I think.
Well, he was taking a swing at Cesaro. Cesaro ducked it and then turned around and he ate a bro kick.
Yeah, he ate a bro kick.
Sheamus wins. He gets to be on Team SmackDown. After that, we get a Jeff Hardy interview. He's asked, how does this year's team stack up? Because he's been in a lot of previous Survivor Series teams. And he says, I've been on teams with a lot of people. References all sorts of WWE legends. But he says he's never been on a team with someone like Drew McIntyre. He says Xavier Woods is the real deal. Sheamus is a rugged son of a bitch. And then there's Happy Corbin, who only thinks about himself. And then Corbin and Moss step up. Moss again tells a terrible joke. Then Adam Pearce comes in and says, hey, let's see some camaraderie here. And he says, Corbin, you got to start acting like a member of the team. And Madcap Moss, you get a match against Jeff Hardy.
And Jeff Hardy laughs in his face.
Yeah.
After that, we have Sheamus and Ridge Holland backstage. He says, this guy right here, talking about how I'm an inspiration. It almost brings a tear to my eye. Sheamus is all about the Stan, Ridge Holland.
Yeah.
And Ridge says, Sheamus, if it wasn't for you, I'd still be in England fighting bums on the street. And he says, if anyone on the roster has a problem with what I did tonight, we'll be at the pub or we'll be at the bar. Yeah. He likes to reference the bar.
Yeah.
He does it like every week. And Sheamus is like, oh, we're going to the bar. He knows me so well.
Yeah.
I love I'm glad to see Sheamus again, man. I do like Sheamus.
Yeah, you can tell he's having a good time.
Exactly.
We get a pretty good Becky Lynch Charlotte video package, hyping up their match at Survivor Series, really leaning into, hey, they don't get along. They didn't exactly quite lean into, is this going to go off script? But they
I know Roman and I don't mean to cut you out. I know Roman and Big E are probably going to be the main event because it's Roman. This should be the main event because it does have the most intrigue behind it, don't you think?
You can make the case this should definitely be the main event, yes. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, yeah, it was kind of interesting also in this recap. So they bring up, like they recap the title swap, but part of the actual build has been Becky being on record and, of course, like the rumors backstage about how the title swap didn't go to script.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny how they have to walk that weird line of like, well, we're referencing this title swap. But like, it's not like they can really say, "Oh, they're heated. This rivalry's heated because they didn't stick to the script we have here on the show."
I know. They showed plenty of footage from that and made it kind of the pivotal moment in this story they're trying to tell, but didn't really explain why.
Because like in universe, all they did was have a petty little moment where they threw titles on the ground. It wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah,
but we all know it's a big deal because. Nerds like us read fight
backstage over it.
Yeah.
After that, we had Aaliyah and Naomi taking on Shayna Baszler and Natalya. This match was really quick, and that's because we had a ref fast counting. So Shayna kind of grabs Naomi by the hair, slams her down. Natalya covers her, and then the ref counts super fast. Shayna and Natalya win. We learned more about that in a little bit. And then we have Sami Zayn, Sonya Deville backstage. Sammy's complaining about his documentary, which he's trying to get out there, being entangled in legal proceedings. Of course, this ongoing conspiracy against him. Sonya's like, "Hey, I hear you, but you need to relax. This is what I'll do for you. I'll have 25. It's the Rock's 25th anniversary of Survivor Series. We're gonna have a 25-man battle royal in honor of the Rock. You're in it." And then
the ref. So it's Asia Smith, the ref from NXT. Comes up. She was the ref from the women's tag match. And she's like, "Hey, did I do good?" And she was like, "Whoa, who are you?" "Oh, you're that ref from NXT. What, you're up here on main roster trying to make a name for yourself?" "I don't know who you are. Get out of here. What are you doing? Go away." Clearly, Sonya Deville,
it's Sami Zayn knew it. The look on his face. He's like, "Oh.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
I know what's going on here."
Conspiracy.
Yeah. Conspiracy. After that, we had Jeff Hardy versus Madcap Moss. Before the match begins, Jeff Hardy grabs the mic, says, "The odds aren't in my favor tonight, and if Moss has someone in his corner, I should have someone in mine." And he convinces Drew McIntyre to be in his corner. And then Pat McAfee's holding Drew's sword while at commentary.
It was so like Michael Cole. I think this was legit. I think he actually meant this. He was like, "Would you put that down? You're gonna," because at one point, like Corbin started walking towards him, and Pat was just holding this towards him, and he was like, "Would you put that down? You're gonna hurt somebody," because it's like a legit sword. I think
it's humongous.
And so that was pretty funny. If this was Raw, this would have turned into a tag match, and for a second I was like, well, this is SmackDown. They don't have the time for that shit.
I know.
But I was kind of surprised it didn't turn into a tag match, but it didn't turn into a tag match.
No, it didn't.
Hardy got a win, countering Moss's attempt at a finish with a roll-up, and then Drew and Corbin got in the ring, and Drew gave Corbin a Claymore.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. After that, we have Paul Heyman on the phone, talking about how Roman doesn't like surprises. Kayla Braxton sneaks up for an interview. And she is asking about the challenge that Xavier Woods made earlier in the night. And Heyman says he's tired of the false narrative that Reigns needs people around him. He says he doesn't need the Usos. He loves them. He doesn't need me. He loves me. He says, so yes, 48 hours before Survivor Series, he will accept Xavier Woods' challenge.
Mm-hmm. After that, we had Boogs and Nakamura versus Los Lotharios.
No, it was only Nakamura versus Angel Garza.
Oh, yeah. Goes show how much I paid attention to this shit, man. As soon as I fall asleep once Boogs shows up, man. I just can't do it. Like at one point I saw Boogs, he lifted up Carrillo on the outside and he was like, I don't even know, like it wasn't even like a real move.
It was like an upside down inverted bear hug. He was holding him around his waist, but head down, face forward, and was kind of shaking him like this.
Like he was trying to get him into a Styles Clash position, and instead he just shook him a lot.
And then he just gut wrenched him to the floor after that. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, Nakamura gets the win here. I wrote that down correctly.
Yeah, he hits Kinshasa. So I guess they're trying to make sure people remember that Nakamura is a champion before he loses to Damian Priest at Survivor Series.
That was his go home math right there. He got a win, so he's gonna eat that loss against Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah. Then we get Sasha and Shotzi backstage. Sonya comes in, make sure they don't start fighting right then and there. Says they need to be teammates this weekend. She's like, I know you have your match tonight. Got to be teammates this weekend. Shotzi calls Sasha a vindictive little brat. Says she doesn't forget when someone messes with her. And Sasha says, if I had $1 for every rookie who tried to make their name off me, I'd be rich. Oh, yeah, I am rich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She says.
And then Sonya says, all right, you'll have your match, but when that match is over, I expect you two to shake hands.
Yeah. We have that match next, Sasha versus Shotzi. And there was one moment I thought this again, pretty good match, like some good, chemistry between these two. One point, Shotzi gets Sasha's hand trapped in the steps, and she just starts stomping the shit. I thought at that point Sonya was going to come down and be like, "That's too far.
I know.
You're on the same damn team. You're going to wreck her hand, her arm like that." But no, Sasha got out of it. Shotzi hits the ball pit. Sasha's able to roll out. Shotzi follows her. Sasha gets her back in. She ends up hitting getting her in a crossface, and then Shotzi taps out.
And she has to use her leg for the crossface because her hand's all busted. Yeah, it was a good little moment there. Afterwards, Sasha offers Shotzi a handshake. Shotzi shakes it, and then Sasha hits the backstabber. And then Sonya
and then goes up.
Yeah.
Sonya's pissed, and Sasha's like, "I shook her hand," and Sonya's like, okay, go on."
That team's going to fall apart.
That team is an absolute disaster.
We get a quick bit of Roman in his locker room. He asks Heyman if it's time. It is. Roman gets up. Usos are about to join him. He just says, "You stay. I got this." This next bit was cool. They had a Xia Li video package, and it was all like a motion comic.
Yeah.
It was really well done.
Yeah, this is really cool. I like this. Maybe they're, the last time we saw something sort of akin to this was Aleister Black. And we saw how that turned out. So I'm hoping this means that they're going to ever do more than just come out, kick somebody, and then be released.
I know. I hope so.
But yeah, hopefully this means, hey, they're putting some money into her, and they're going to actually utilize her, because that bit of repackaging for Xia Li in NXT was really phenomenal. Like the music and all that stuff was really good stuff.
The Tian Sha music was great.
It was fantastic. It was really good. Yeah.
Then we got a Toni Storm interview, and she talks about how a couple of years ago she got experience Survivor Series. She'd say as an outsider, something like that. As a member of Team NXT this year, she's excited to represent Team SmackDown. And then she talks about confronting Charlotte last week, throws the video of that. She talks about how Charlotte is consumed by her match against Becky, and when you're obsessed, you become vulnerable. And after Becky beats her at Survivor Series, then Charlotte's going to come gunning for her to take out her frustrations, but she's going to take advantage of that. And Charlotte steps in, and then she says, after I beat the crap out of Becky on Sunday, you're next on the list. You don't deserve a title shot, but I'll give you a match. And then I'll do to you what I do to Becky on Sunday. And then so she leaves, and Tony just says, just like I thought.
After that, we had the main event segment, which was Xavier Woods comes out, calls out Roman, face me man to man. The Usos come flying out because Roman comes out, and then you see the Usos get tossed like they're getting tossed by a bouncer. And then Big E's music hits. He comes down. Him and Roman they go off on each other. Roman gets the upper hand, charges Big E. Big E gets him up for a big ending. They're in the ring at this point. And then Roman escapes, scurrying away, which guaranteed his win at Survivor Series.
Yep. Yeah. That's Big E standing tall there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's talk about some Rampage.
All right. In terms of story, there's not a whole lot really that happened.
These taped episodes, not a whole lot of
kind
story.
Of thin. They're a little thin.
We're still sort of in the afterglow of Full Gear.
We are, and we had a TBS tournament match, so that's something.
Now, yeah, that was something. Yeah, that was not it. It was not a great match. Jade Cargill and Red Velvet I don't know. Where are you? Where are your thoughts right now on the TBS title tournament? I'm torn between. Let's see here. So if Jade Cargill makes it to the final, it's going to be her versus Ruby Soho, because it's going to be Ruby and Chris taking on the winner of the tournament, or the,
no, it's going to be Ruby and Chris, and whoever wins that takes on the winner of Shida and Nyla.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that match just happened on Dynamite.
It did.
So Nyla.
Yeah, sorry, the winner. Yeah, Nyla. That's what I thought. As soon as I said it, I was like, that match happened already.
And then Thunder Rosa and Jamie Hayter.
Winner of that takes on Jade.
Oh, man. I'm kind of torn. I just don't know that, like, especially after tonight, Jade Cargill is limited in the ring. She's got everything else. And it's pro wrestling, you can do that. I don't know that they're gonna do that, though. And it wouldn't shock me if there was a face TBS champion. Although I think Thunder Rosa is going to be should be the person to take it off of Britt. I don't know. Like, after tonight, I saw that match and I was like, God damn, there were so many blown spots. I don't know that Jade's the one, but like, the belt has her branding, basically. It's TBS. She's dubbed it that bitch show already. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, where do you land on this? What are your thoughts on that?
As soon as they announced the bracket and I saw Jade was in there, I thought Jade was going to win it. And the match tonight, was it great? No. Was it so bad that they may reconsider her winning if that was the plan? I don't think so. And essentially until I see otherwise, Jade's going to be my pick, Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much otherwise is going to be her losing a match.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It is one of those things with Jade. I'll see it when I'll believe it when I see it, but in my mind, it's like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Going forward, I'm trying to think right now. Like, there hasn't really been a person like, I'm trying to think of a person like Jade, who obviously they think of as a potential big star, but is kind of a Goldberg-ish type where in ring, there's just not a lot to go with. And like I said, you don't often need that, but when you have people like, and granted, I know people like Statlander and Ruby and Thunder Rosa, I know that they can do their part in carrying a match with her. And maybe Red Velvet's just not at that point yet. Maybe that's why the match fell apart. Maybe the idea that they have a lot of great talent that can carry matches with a green wrestler makes it okay to put that title on her. I don't know. But I don't know. Like, this match there were some ugly moments in this match. And it's not just Jade, like Red Velvet was there too. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if Tony Khan's the kind of guy who's like, oh, let me reconsider this. I don't know. I'm sometimes just a bad night's a bad night.
Yeah.
But this match was kind of gnarly.
Yeah, it wasn't the smoothest match I've seen. The main event was solid, but it was another instance of Adam Cole throwing Bobby Fish to the wolves and making his escape, so he doesn't have to eat that L. Mm-hmm. Does it really advance story? Not per se. It gets a good win for Jurassic Express. And it's obviously now they're really hitting the gas in terms of building up Jungle Boy, to whatever they think the next phase of his AEW career is. Mm-hmm. And so that's been interesting to see. But again, it just, it felt like, to a certain degree, spinning wheels from what we already saw at Full Gear. Mm-hmm. Solid match, but didn't really advance much story-wise. So.
No, in fact, it sort of went backwards because it just seems like it's the same feud that virtually. They really don't need to be in. I mean, I don't know where else they can go with this unless they want to get like Adam Cole a win over
Christian.
Well, they already. I mean,
he beat Jungle Boy already.
He's beat Jungle Boy.
I don't think he's beat Christian 1-on-1. So maybe that'll be the match. And I guess the direction you'd think they would be going is leading to a Jungle Boy Christian feud. Mm-hmm. That would seem to make sense. Yeah, but we'll see if that goes there. Anyways, let's just jump right into it. The show opened up with Darby Allin versus Billy Gunn. Billy Gunn was basically throwing Darby Allin all around the ringside area. It had the hugest backdrop I have maybe ever seen.
When this match started, what did I say?
You said who should like a shoot situation? Who would win this?
Sometimes there's just situations in pro wrestling. It's like whenever, and I don't think of him in the same manner at all, but whenever Marco Stunt's in the ring, I'm like, this dude should never win a fight. He should never win a match.
You know, I always go back, and I'm not saying this is that situation. I always go back to I see a ton of his matches or his fights, but Hoist Gracie in the early days of the UFC.
Yeah.
But there was always a strategy involved in terms of how he won. You know, and it was part strategy and part he was like, you know, they had the best training. You know, he knew how to win a fight against basically anybody. And so if the situation where Darby Allin recognizes a weakness in Billy Gunn's attack, exploits it to get the win, I'm fine with that. But it's a situation where he caught Billy Gunn making a mistake, hits 3 moves and 2 coffin drops and gets the win. And yeah, it's pro wrestling. I can suspend my disbelief to a certain extent, but I understand your point where it just seems like Billy Gunn is twice the size of Darby Allin.
He is granite.
And he's
58 years old, but he's granite. He looks amazing. It's insane. It is absolutely insane. And Darby's an undersized guy, and I mean that's part of his appeal.
Yeah.
But when he's in there with MJF, he's slightly undersized. You know, when he's in there against a giant statue man, a relic from the WWF days when like 6'5" was average. It's a bit striking to see the difference there.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that they did. You know, they made it 2 coffin drops to get the job done.
Well, Billy Gunn, so Darby, he sidesteps a quarter splash from Billy, hits a stunner, code red, hits a coffin drop, and Billy kicks out even before 1 on the first one. Then Darby hits another one, gets the win. Gun Club go after Sting because Sting was trying to get in the ring. So they're in there attacking Darby. Sting eventually gets in. He throws Billy Gunn's kids out, and then Billy Gunn chop blocks Sting. And the Gun Club stand tall. So maybe we're going to get Sting versus Billy Gunn coming up here soon.
Hey, man. The Gun Club, they're no joke. What are they, like 38-0 on Dark and Elevation?
Well, they got an L against them now.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Then after that, we had a QT Marshall interview. He's just challenging Punk to a match in Chicago. That's it. Easy win for Phil in his hometown.
Yeah. Boy. QT.
Yeah, I know. pretty brazen there, QT. Then we got
pretty brazen, Tony Khan, to waste a Punk match on QT Marshall.
Yeah, I know. I guess get an easy win for Punk, get the hometown pop, so on and so forth. We get a quick inner circle promo where they're just kind of recapping their match at Full Gear. And they'll pretty much saying we'll take on anybody. It's us against the world. Then we have Men of the Year kind of respond, and Scorpio Sky was like, "Hey, it's you got 1 win against us. Good for you, but it's not over." And Paige asked the Inner Circle if you're proud of pinning Dan Lambert. He says, "But I'm proud of Lambert for never giving up." That's right. This isn't the last you've seen of America Top Team.
No.
They had it over with. They could have stepped away. It was done.
Could have just wiped it clean.
It was done.
Yeah.
Done.
Wah, wah.
Anyway,
after that we had Jade Cargill versus Red Velvet. I don't mean to dump on this match, but I just saw too many things that just freaked me out. So there was one cool spot that I recognized: Jade hitting that massive Uranagi on the apron.
Oh gosh,
on Red Velvet. That was pretty rough. Jade was dominating after the commercial break, because then Rampage rolls on. Velvet hits a back elbow, a couple bulldogs, slaps her, hits some knees to Jade's back. She gets Jade has actually a really killer pump kick.
Yeah, she does.
She does. She just stick to that pump kick, man. Just do that, just like you're jamming your finish in the video games. So she hits one of those. She looks for a glam slam. Velvet counters with a roll up, gets 2 at that. Velvet hits a spear, gets 2 at that. Velvet goes for her finish, but Jade escapes it. Hits a glam slam, and she does really that glam slam. She gets them up pretty high for that.
Yeah,
she hits that for the win. So, so yeah, I don't know, man. If she wins that title, great. Just put her in there. Make sure that her title defenses are against like vets who can really, carry matches, and hope none of them go William Regal on her.
Yeah. We get a quick Thunder Rosa promo. She talks about beating Rebel and Hater. Beating Rebel, and then she's going to beat Hater on Dynamite. And then she'll make it to semis, and then she's on her road becoming the first TBS champion.
I can watch these Thunder Rosa promos all day long. That she has got so much damn charisma.
You got that right.
They bleeped out a bad word in Spanish, which was awesome. She is one of my absolute favorites. She's great. I'm really pulling for her to win that TBS title, but part of me also just wants her to like beat Britt for that title. I kind of feel like that's the thing they should be doing. Anyways, after that, we had a CM Punk interview where he had to lower himself and talk about QT Marshall. He said, in Chicago, there are no higher stakes than Chicago. I've lost big in Chicago. I've also won huge in Chicago, but my ceilings are higher than my basements. He says, QT, show up, bring your bad attitude, your bad bowling shirts. You've bit off a bit more than you can chew, like a good bowling alley hot dog. We're going to find out who the real turkey is. Turkey, the day after Thanksgiving. Bring some pizza.
All that talk of bowling shirts. I watched Big Lebowski last night. First time in a while.
Oh, great pick. Great pick.
It's such a like an anti-movie. It's so bizarre.
I know.
It's brilliant.
It's awesome.
Making that after Fargo, and they had they could have done anything. And they make like a weird movie with basically no story. It's great. Mm-hmm. Then we get our customary pre-main event interview. You got Adam Cole, Bob Fish, one screen. You got Jurassic Express, Christian Cage, the other screen. So first up, Super Click plus Bob Fish. And they're talking about how Jungle Boy is Jungle Man now. Jurassic Express tried to end the Elite's career at Full Gear. But then Cole says tonight he and Fish are going to put an end to the stupid charade. And Jungle Boy says, I'm not, because he's asked about outside interference. He says, I'm not afraid of outside interference. He says, the first Bobby Fish match I watched, I won. That was a good line.
Confirmed. That was a good line.
That was a good line.
AEW locker room does not watch NXT.
No. And then Christian Cage pipes in. He says, when the numbers in the Elite's favor, they're in a great mood. But when the odds are even, not so much. And he says, well, Adam Cole, you could bring an old friend. I'll bring an old friend of my own. And he seemed to pull a chair out of his pocket. Like a full-size
chair. This thing
chair.
came out of nowhere. It looked like he got it in his pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what Mark Henry should have asked? He should have been like, Bob Fish, is it just me, or does your friend always hang you out to dry, throw you under the bus, whatever metaphor you want to use? Why do they always leave you high and dry, man? And do you think that's going to happen tonight? Because it totally happened tonight.
1,000%. 1,000%.
Yeah.
So at one point, Christian runs out. The Young Bucks come down to ringside. Christian runs after them with a chair, and somehow Adam Cole got wrapped up in that whole Benny Hill situation.
It was totally a Benny Hill. Oh, man, I wish I would have run some yakety sax on our live stream.
Yeah, and so the Super Click run up to the ramp. That leaves Bob Fish in the ring by himself. He tries his best. He rolls up Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy counters with a roll-up of his own. Fish kicks out. Jungle Boy goes right into the snare trap. Fish has to tap. It was a fun match, though. I mean, you put
yeah, no, it was fun stuff.
Adam Cole, Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, Bob Fish in the ring. You're going to get some fun stuff, but it's just, not terribly consequential stuff.
Yeah, totally. Anyways, why don't some of you in the Twitch chat load up some highlighted messages? I'm going to look on the Patreon, see if anybody posted any questions.
There you go. Muted Mayday with a sub. Thank you so much.
Hey, quick reminder also, if you want Going in Raw ad-free, you can get that on the Patreon, patreon.com/Steve and Larson. Let me take a look. I'm going to see if we got a new friendos here, some new patrons here.
There we go.
We've got Tomas Smiszowski, Soken Rose, Red Hand John, Josh McKittrick, Cole Marr, Donald Gold. What a great name, Don Gold. Salvador Gutierrez. Oh, another good name. Vlasios Michaelopoulos. That's a good name. Lance Hansford and Cesar Areza. Thank you all. Thank you all so much. So yeah, you can get the show ad-free with the bonus content. This week we had an episode of Friendo Club TV where we talked about
what
things.
WWE can do to make things better after Survivor Series.
Yeah, and then on the Numbers Don't Lie, which the audio will be going up tonight after this show for the Friendo Club TV, we did the Going In Raw math on the Macho Man. Oh, yeah, and then this weekend, we're going to have early access to our Bash at the Beach 1996 Going In Raw view. That's right, the birth of the New World Organization of Professional Wrestling.
Brother.
Happened. That was actually a pretty fun review we did. We shot it earlier today.
That was good.
So check that out. Patreon.com/Steven Larson. The tier is the $5 tier for all that stuff. If you want to get the Friendo Care Package, get a comic book, an 8x10, a bunch of stickers, that's $20. Just one pledge of $20. Make sure it clears your account, and then boom, I'll send that stuff out. We got a couple of these friendos here, the patrons that are the $20 tier, so they'll be getting those Friendo Care Packages very shortly. Let's go ahead and dive into these questions. Larson, who's up first?
Maggie here saying, I want to see Becky out heel Charlotte for a win, and then she tries to argue she didn't go full Charlotte to win against Charlotte.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
Oh, and Maggie also gifted a sub to Ryan is online. It's Ryan's first time catching one of our live streams, so welcome, Ryan.
Hey, what's up, Ryan? Thank you, Maggie. Thank you for that gifted sub.
Thank you, Maggie.
Madam Vice President. Alex Foster says, how would you guys feel about Big E beating Roman Reigns? He says New Day could even the odds and make Big E more credible as champ. I would love it. I think that you need to give, Big E has to have some signature wins. Yeah. He's had like a win against Drew, which was great.
Beat Lashley.
Against Lashley. I don't see it happening, but man, I'd be into it. And isn't that what you want as the WWE, as a company? Don't you want people to be into your product?
I know. I'd love it if Big E won. I'd be so about it. I'd be so happy. Sadly, I don't think it's going to happen. Jonathan with the sub, 19 months. Thank you so much, Jonah. Gosh, this thing's skipping all over the place.
Soken earlier asked, what will the future look like for the WWE in 5 or 10 years after all these internal changes to NXT and all the recent cuts? 5 to 10 years is a long way out. It's a long way out. I would not be surprised if WWE at that point was owned by a conglomerate, by not Warner's, because Warner already has TNT, by like Disney or something like that. It would not shock me, or NBC Universal. That's what it would be.
Yeah,
it wouldn't shock me, or Fox maybe. It would not shock me if that was the case. But also it wouldn't shock me if they stayed under the McMahon family tree. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Quoth the Raven, so apparently WWE thinks the best way to get people on the same page is to fight each other. What better team building exercises would you do to have Team Raw and SmackDown be on the same page?
Trust falls. I knew a guy once who was in like a men's group that would do, they were trying to support each other, and maybe they had a little rough in life. And then one time they went out to the woods or whatever, and they were doing trust falls, and my friend fell. Didn't catch. It was like one of those episodes of I don't know, Rampage of Dynamite, where they do some crazy move and nobody catches a guy.
This is what you do. You get your Survivor Series team, all 5 of you. You go do a pub quiz. Because there's a situation where you have to communicate on things where you don't know the answer to, or maybe two people think they know the answer. You got to work out which one's going to be. You have a couple drinks. You get some food. It's a good time. Pub quiz.
Fishing.
That's not really a team endeavor, though.
Yeah, you're out there. It's nice. You get to know the good side of people. You see them more as humans.
Or they get bored and get grumpy, and you see the bad side of people.
Well, that's what happened to me when I went fishing. Both 2 times. David Matushek, if you were with WWE, what would you do to boost company morale after all the releases? Stop releasing people.
Yeah, stop releasing people. Stop releasing people, first and foremost.
I mean, I really don't know. Like, if you're, I don't know, anybody in that battle royal, save for like, I don't know, Dolph and I don't know. Like, I would be like, I guess maybe the line that they're fed by their other superstars, just it's part of the business,
They just grown to accept that as being part of the business, and this is part of doing business with WWE.
Did you see? Did you watch the Drake Mavericks video?
I watched most of it. Yeah.
It was well done.
It was really well done. It was really well done. Yeah. Hugh Long Heavy, Tony Khan announced on Twitter that the schedule for the Owen Hart Cup will be revealed the 15th at Winter Wonder Slam. Well, they did announce winter is coming.
Winter is coming.
I'm happy that Hugh Long Heavy brought back Winter Wonder Slam, which of course was our.
I forgot about that, and I was like, "Oh my God, Larson just brought that up. That's great. Thank you, Hugh Long Heavy." Yeah, Winter Wonder Slam. What a great name. Sup John says to spice up Survivor Series, should WWE make the men and women's match war game style? Sure.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. They're not going to do it. They're not going to have stakes.
No.
Bare minimum, the bare minimum era. So we're in the bare minimum era.
Marky J with the sub. Thank you so much. John Lestrina as well. Thank you.
The Yellow Flash asks, what's next for DMD Britt Baker? We'll probably find out on Wednesday who's going to challenge her for something, or maybe they'll do. Oh, let me take a look. It's my weekly look at the AEW
Power
rankings.
There you go.
Let's see here. Rankings.
No offhand, who's number one contender?
I will tell you right now.
Jorge D asks, in honor of Rock's 25th anniversary, what is your personal best Rock segment of all time?
Oh, man. I loved Rock right when my favorite Rock stuff is like late 97, early 98, like the Nation type stuff.
1,000%. That shit is so good.
That's the best.
That
he was
segment where he gifted Farouk the portrait of himself was so good.
I got to go back and watch some of that stuff. It's so fucking good. He is so good, man. All right, so here's your rankings. Britt, obviously champion. Jade Cargill, 17-0. Thunder Rosa's 29-3. Nyla is 24-5. Ty Conti's 30-5, and Statlander's 18-2. So they're all wrapped up right now. They're all wrapped up in the TBS tournament. So yeah, I don't know about all that.
Yeah.
Does it go any further? Or it doesn't go any further?
No, I don't think so. White Brownie, who loses their title first after Survivor Series, Charlotte or Becky? I feel like they're both losing them at Mania. Becky to Bianca and Charlotte probably to Sasha. Although I guess Sasha could probably maybe beat Charlotte for it at the Rumble.
I'm not sure when. I would suspect because Charlotte loses it and wins it all the time.
Yeah.
Charlotte's probably more likely to lose it.
Yeah.
Joe Juarez asks if Steen does indeed. Oh, there's no if involved. When Steen goes to AEW after his contract is up, do you see Sammy / Jericho coming along? I don't know when his contract is up, but I probably yes, but I mean, Sammy has had more of a character to work with, but it's not like they do necessarily more with him.
Mm-hmm.
But they seem to be linked at the hip. So yeah, it wouldn't shock me. I don't know if it's like a certainty if one went the other, but wouldn't shock me at all.
Yeah, it wouldn't shock me either. Would not shock me at all.
I mean, the one thing that AEW seems to have plenty of is goodwill.
Oh wow. It's just announced that Night 3 of Wrestle Kingdom is going to be Pro Wrestling Noah versus New Japan. They had this press conference.
Whoa, we got to start watching some Pro Wrestling Noah.
Yeah.
That sounds cool. That sounds really cool. Is
Sounds
Noah?
awesome.
No, it's Dragon Gate. I gotta check out some Noah. Let's see here.
That's pretty cool.
That is really cool. So it's more just sort of an exhibition night. That's interesting. It's not going to be a continuation. That's cool. That's kind of cool. Alto says, what are the chances Rock's music hits before Roman goes for the spear and Big E rolls him up for the win? Starting the feud. I don't think it'd be starting the feud, but it'd be kind of funny if the New Day tried to pull some shenanigans like that.
Would be fun. That would be fun.
White Brownie says, have you heard this? Gargano's contract's up in 2 weeks, apparently.
Oh, I didn't know it was that soon.
I didn't know that was that soon either. White Brownie, what is your source on that, sir? Is that a Fightful Select thing? Is that a White Brownie exclusive, perhaps? Our own insider. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, Ryan is online. Thank you so much for the bits. We appreciate it. We appreciate everybody hanging out with us. We're going to be back on Sunday for Survivor Series.
Indeed.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Until next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.